Deep in a vast, whispering forest, where ancient trees touched the sky, lived a very hungry and exceptionally clever wolf. His days were spent scheming, his mind always churning with ways to find his next meal. Just a short trot away from the deep woods lay a sun-drenched meadow, a peaceful paradise for a large flock of fluffy, white sheep. Every single day, from the cover of the dense bushes, the wolf would watch them graze, his stomach rumbling like distant thunder, but getting close was impossible. No matter how stealthily he moved, the sheep would spot him and scatter in a panic. The shepherd, ever vigilant, would see him too, and his fierce dogs would chase the wolf back into the shadowy depths of the forest, leaving him hungry and frustrated once again. One lazy afternoon, as the wolf was resting beneath the shade of a great oak tree, a brilliant, mischievous idea sparked in his mind. He thought to himself, a sly grin spreading across his face. What if I didn't look like a wolf? What if I looked like one of them? The shepherd would never suspect a thing. Fueled by this new hope, he began to search the forest floor. It didn't take long before he stumbled upon an old, discarded sheepskin, left behind from a sheep that had wandered too close to the woods long ago. With great care, he draped the soft, woolly fleece over his back, pulling it around him like a cloak. He padded over to a still pond to check his reflection. He was astonished. "Perfect," he whispered, admiring his new look. "I look just like a real sheep. No one will ever know." With his disguise complete, the wolf cautiously approached the meadow. He kept his head low, mimicking the sheep's gentle movements, and let out a soft, hesitant, bad. The other sheep, completely absorbed in munching the sweet green grass, didn't give him a second glance. For the very first time, the wolf stood right in the middle of the flock, not as a predator, but as one of them. He could hardly contain his excitement. "This is it," he thought, his heart pounding with anticipation. "My plan is working. Tonight I shall finally have the feast I've been dreaming of." As the golden sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the shepherd started calling his flock. One by one, the sheep ambled towards the safety of the stable for the night. Hidden amongst them, the disguised wolf followed along, his steps quiet and deliberate. The shepherd stood at the stable door, counting each sheep as it passed. He didn't notice the extra, slightly bulkier sheep with the unfamiliar wool. Once the last one was inside, he secured the heavy wooden door, humming a cheerful tune to himself. The wolf's plan had succeeded flawlessly. Inside the dark, quiet stable, surrounded by the gentle sounds of sleeping sheep, the wolf licked his lips. "At last," he whispered into the darkness, "my dinner is right here beside me." Completely unaware, he selected the plumpest-looking sheep and began to creep towards it, his movements slow and silent in the dim light. But just as he was about to pounce, a sudden sound made him freeze. The stable door creaked open. The shepherd had returned. He'd forgotten to pick out a sheep to take to the market the next morning. In the near-total darkness, the shepherd didn't bother to look too closely. He just reached out and grabbed the animal that felt the fattest and woolliest, which happened to be the disguised wolf. The wolf was paralyzed with shock, too terrified to even whimper. As the shepherd tugged, a piece of the sheepskin disguise came loose in his hand. He paused, confused. Then, holding his lantern closer, his eyes widened in horror. "A wolf!" he yelled, his voice echoing through the stable. "There's a wolf among my sheep!" Instantly the night erupted in chaos. The shepherd's alarm sent the dogs into a frenzy of barking. The terrified wolf, his cover completely blown, scrambled for his life. He bolted out of the stable and ran as fast as his legs could carry him, the sound of the chase ringing in his ears. His brilliant plan had backfired spectacularly, and the truth was now exposed for all to see. The wolf didn't stop running until he was deep in the heart of the forest, where he collapsed under the cold moonlight, panting for breath. His clever disguise hadn't brought him a feast. It had brought him nothing but terror and shame. He finally understood that pretending to be something you're not is a dangerous game. Lies and deceit might seem clever at first, but they always unravel, and the truth eventually comes to light, often in the worst possible way. From that day on, the shepherd watched his flock with even greater care, and the wolf, having learned his lesson, never dared to try such a trick again. This story teaches us a timeless and valuable lesson. Deceiving others is never the right path. No matter how well you hide it, the truth has a way of revealing itself. It's always better to be honest and true to who you are. In the end, Integrity and truthfulness will always lead to a better outcome than a life built on lies. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this classic tale. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories like this one. We'll see you in the next video.